Yes, and Murtala Inusah is here in the studio with court today. You know, he's always got the details and updates from what's been happening at the courts. And good morning to you, Captain.
Good morning, Alantam.
How are you doing today?
But it's great. Today is Thursday, so I'm very good.
You are feeling nice about the Thursday.
Absolutely. And I like your shirt. Who are you wearing?
Who am I wearing?
Yes.
I'm wearing authentic.
Authentic.
I'm wearing authentic.
Yes.
That is who I'm wearing.
You're always looking dapper. You know that.
Oh, so are you?
Yes.
You're looking very, very casual and nice.
Like the man on the field. You get it.
But let's talk about what's coming up, on court today.
Yes.
So there was an AMJG conference.
Yes, and you know what it is about.
What is it about?
AMJG.
What's that?
So it's an acronym.
What's that?
Association of Magistrates and Judges of Ghana.
Association of Magistrates and Judges of Ghana Conference 2024.
Absolutely.
So it's a two-day conference.
It's a two-day conference.
It started yesterday.
Yes, it started yesterday.
So we will continue
and
today.
all the talking points, yes. Currently at 9
o'clock. Like there were a lot of talking points from yesterday.
Talking points.
Between from the Attorney General to the Chief Justice.
Yes.
About delay of cases in court and all of that. And so give us the stuff.
A forum like this is to look forward to the next legal year, is to prepare, look at, review the last legal year, and then to anticipate, to make correction or to review some of the things that will happen in the next legal year. And so there were opportunities for speeches. There were moments where we had the Chief Justice, the Attorney General, the Ghana President of the Ghana Bar Association, the President of Judicial Service Staff Association. Of course, a lot of people had the opportunity to give speeches, to speak at that particular forum, and to wish the judiciary. You know, this started from the bar conference.
Yeah.
There was it was held in Kumasi, the Ghana Bar Association conference in Kumasi. Then we had the Judicial Service Deba. Then we had the JUSAC at 50 anniversary also. Then we have the Attorney General also had a conference for state prosecutors. Then now it is the turn of the judges. So yesterday that forum, all judges from the Superior Court judges and the lower court judges, the Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, High Court, Circuit Court, and the District Court, all of them were present yesterday at that particular forum. And you're talking about the kind of things that were said.
Yes.
But first, let's go and we'll listen to the president of the Association of Magistrates and Judges, Justice Henry Anthony Kofi, what he has to say, particularly about allowances for judges.
The question we need to ask is whether, having regard to the concerns and the satisfaction that we expressed last year, there has been some improvement in this situation. Needless to say, and I say this with some regret, the situation has not only improved, not improved, but I would say that in the case of fuel allowance, it has even gotten worse. Almost all the allowances this year, the only allowance that was received on time was the quinquennial allowance. And that, I must give credit, was because of the personal intervention of her ladyship, the Chief Justice. That is the only allowance, because the Chief Justice, otherwise judges would have traveled and come back without receiving the allowances. My lady, we are very grateful for your personal intervention. As we speak, today is 2nd of October. We have entered the 4th quarter. This is the last quarter of the year. Even the 2nd quarter fuel allowance for all categories of judges have not been paid, from the Supreme Court to the magistracy. And it surprises me a bit because in the case of the lower bench, the source of their fuel allowance is different. It's not from the controller. It is from our internally generated fund. So I would have expected that in their case, the payment, even if the controller is not releasing fund for it, in the case of the internally generated fund, they would have been paid. But they're also in the same boat with us. They also have received only the 1st quarter fuel allowance. And judges keep asking questions. When is the next batch coming? When is the next? Sometimes we even lose track. The allowances, we lose track of which one has been paid and which one has not been paid.
of the Association.
So that's the president of the Association
of Magistrates and Judges of Ghana, Justice Henry Anthony Kofi, and he is a justice of the Supreme Court as well. So that is how the setting was looking like. The president of the Ghana Bar Association, the judicial secretary there, and all these people you see in the picture, they are judges and magistrates of Ghana.
So that's their conference.
As a judicial president, he was there yesterday to also give a goodwill message. Justice Kweku Tewi Akabuafo in your shot there, and a host of them. So yesterday, all the judges, you know, they are in their uniform. When you see them in court, they don't
dress
their
uniform.
This is the
we
judges.
We see them wearing black and white.
Yes,
with their gowns and their wigs.
So
right?
that is this one is happening at the Labadi Beach Hotel. So that is how the setting was looking like yesterday when the opening ceremony was. So there were some awards, and this is the former judicial secretary. They're receiving an award, and of course, I'll be showing a video very soon of one of the things that happened. Justice Agnes Dodgy, remember her? Justice Agnes Dodgy. She was a Supreme Court judge, as you can see over there. So this video you see there, in the middle from right, the woman in the middle by the Chief Justice, Justice Agnes Dodgy. She retired, and yesterday was her 72nd birthday.
Oh, so they took the opportunity to celebrate it.
To celebrate. So you see the Attorney General, Justice Mariam Owusu. Justice Mariam Owusu is retiring this year. So she chaired this particular opening ceremony. And then you have the Chief Justice, Justice Paul Bafumoni in there, and then Justice Gabriel Palmer. So that's a setting yesterday, a very beautiful thing. And those judges who retired, they were also acknowledged, they were rewarded for doing so much.
For the good work that they've been doing.
So that is how the conference is looking. Today, it will continue. But of course,
quite a lot of other things were said, right?
Absolutely.
So the issue of cases that delay,
Yes.
they always say, oh, the wheels of justice grind slowly
Absolutely.
and all of that. And you realize that one case travels on and on and on. So there were issues about the delay of cases.
Yes, so
the CJ has been speaking.
Yes, so
the Attorney General has also been speaking.
Yes. So
and what have they been saying?
this is the moment that you speak to, you have the opportunity to talk to the judges one-on-one in the collective or in the gathering like this. So the Chief Justice said that a lot of the time she received petition about how cases are being delayed. In fact, there are some cases you go to court, they adjourn it for mention. So they will call the case,
and
the Republic versus so and so, and then the case is adjourned again. Just so because certain things have to be done, they have not been done. So it is to allow, and the CJ is saying that all those things will have to stop. Let's hear the Chief Justice on that particular subject matter.
Too often, the Office of the Chief Justice receives petitions about delays through unending adjournments of cases. I wish to implore judges to do away completely with the model of fixing cases, quote, for mention, unquote. No matter how tall a cause list is, my sincere view is that with the inclusion of witness statements as a necessary part of the trial process in both civil and criminal cases, there's no need for a court to adjourn a case after the case management conferences for mention. My firm view, developed from 20 years of sitting as a trial judge and appellate judge, is that it should not be the norm that parties are made to dress up, leave their businesses, spend money traveling, and spend time just sitting in a court premise only to hear the title of their case called out and told to come back another date. This should be the exceptional situation. Judges are urged to please get on with the business of hearing lawyers and parties when cases are scheduled. And as leaders of courts, it should be our duty to designate officers to review dockets to ensure that hearing notices ordered have been served and cases are properly ripe for hearing before citizens are made to come to a court for hearing. If bailiffs fail to serve processes, registrars should be supervised to set up systems for informing parties not to come to court until processes are ripe for hearing. Judges are further encouraged to monitor the efficiency of the backroom processes regarding the dockets before them so that they do not pile up their own cost list with interminable adjournments.
So the Chief Justice there, right?
Yes. So she's admonishing the judges to ensure that that particular phenomenon, that GHOne cases for mention, you delay in cases, and make sure the case is ripe before the things are done. So she's admonishing them to be careful with that particular subject,
Okay.
not to ensure that cases delay. She made a point that one particular case that was even fixed for judgment, and the only thing that was supposed to have done was for the lawyers to file their written submissions. And that case, for a very long time, for more than a year, 3, 4, 5 years, it's been called for mention.
Just because written submissions and it's not been concluded.
It's not been concluded.
I mean, that's an unnecessary delay, right?
Absolutely.
So the issue of Galamsey
Yes.
and Galamsey cases
In court.
also came up.
Yes, it came up.
The Attorney General has been speaking about that.
Yeah, so the Attorney General was making the point that, look, the most topical issue in the country now is Galamsey. And the Galamsey is the reason we have some protesters even on the street, and some of them have found themselves in lawful custody as we speak. And so the Attorney General is saying that there are a lot of over 100 plus cases that are pending at the court. So the Chief Justice, so as it were, directs the judges, the cases that are pending, for the judges to conclude on those cases within the month upon the resumption of the new legal year. And the new legal year officially begins on the 7th of October. The vacation is over, so the judges are wrapping up. And just immediately after the Attorney General made the call that the CJ, to ensure that the judges conclude the cases within the month, the CJ has a sharp reply. He said, look, our reviews that we have done shows that it is not the court that delays the case, but it is the prosecutors that delay the case. Let's hear the Attorney General and the Chief Justice on Galamsey.
Currently, over 140 cases of illegal mining involving over 850 accused persons are pending in courts in the Western, Eastern, Ashanti, Greater Accra, and Upper East regions of Ghana. Some have been pending since 2020. This situation, with all respect, cannot be right. We are in urgent national crisis, and all citizens and institutions with any form of role to play must be called upon to act. Your Ladyship, I therefore respectfully call on you to direct all judges sitting on Galamsey cases to conclude the cases, the hearing of which has started within 1 month from the commencement of the legal year on 10th October 2024.
On the issue of delays in Galamsey cases, the Attorney General will acknowledge that our engagements have shown that the delays often come from the work of prosecutors.
So that is the Attorney General and the Chief Justice on Galamsey. While the AG makes the point that the judiciary will be the one delaying the cases, the CJ is saying that by the reviews that were done, it is the prosecutors who should be blamed and not the court.
And not the courts.
Not the court.
Back
So
and forth. Back and forth.
It's
At the end
becoming
of the
very
day, we
interesting.
will say that all of them need to do their work in such a way that justice is delivered properly. And
then
in a
swiftly.
timely manner.
Absolutely.
Right? Because sometimes when a case takes too long,
Yes,
people
look
suffer
into-
too much, and at the end of
absolutely.
the day, even if they are, even if they win their cases, and the damage that has already been
yes.
done because of the time that has passed, and justice delivery is not supposed to be like that.
Absolutely. It's supposed
right?
to be swift,
It's
so that
supposed to
you
be
know.
swift. Let me get justice.
Especially so when the Constitution was even clear to the fact that Article 14, a presumption of innocence, clear that once you have been accused, until a court of competent jurisdiction finds you otherwise, it means you are as innocent as you and I. So a case that I have followed in court is a civil matter. 27 years. And by the time that the case concluded, the parties who took the matter to court, the plaintiff, there were about 9. About 8 of them have left. And only one surviving.
And what was the use for a case to travel through the court for 27
But of
years?
course, that is why this show is very important, so that when we give you the daily update, you know which particular party is delaying the case. Most often than not, it is blamed on the judiciary. But sometimes you go...
Sometimes the prosecution.
Absolutely, on the instance of the party who even initiated the action and all that. So stay tuned, we'll bring you up to date. But of course, we've been talking to you about the protesters.
The Galamsey Democracy Hub protesters who are on remand.
They are on remand,
in prison custody and police custody for 2 weeks.
Yes. So 2 weeks will be next week.
What has
the lawyers have taken steps
Yes.
to file bail applications at the High Court. And yesterday, the search involving Ama Governor, Elom Abebio Esquire, were in court yesterday. The accused person didn't come, but their lawyers were in court yesterday. But unfortunately, the processes did not conclude for the court to hear the matter. So it has been adjourned to Monday. And on Monday is 7th of October. And 7th of October, the following day, is when the circuit court has adjourned the case for them to appear in court. But the point is that apart from the AMA governors set, Oliver Barker's set and other sets have also filed bail applications at the High Court. So all of them together will be dealt with on Monday. But the Attorney General at the conference yesterday has also been talking about this very subject matter. He said freedom is not absolute. If you are doing something, make sure that it doesn't infringe on the right of the other person. And as a demonstrator himself, he can align with the situation. But then make a call that prosecution should ensure that relevant bail applications are considered. Let's hear from the Attorney General on this particular subject matter.
As a renowned demonstrator myself, one of the founders of the Alliance for Equitable Governance, who in 2009 and 2010 embarked on many peaceful protests in Accra, I stand fully for the realization of the right to free expression. However, that right is always exercised subject to the injunction contained in Article 12, Clause 2 of the Constitution. That is, the public interest and respect for the rights and freedoms of others. The peace and territorial integrity of our nation at this time, 2 months before election 2024, is far greater than the pursuit of any parochial political goals, just as the right to free expression is no more paramount than the right of others to access essential services and the duty of the police to maintain the peace of Ghana. As I always say, freedom is not free. It is accompanied by serious responsibilities, and it is up to the entire nation, particularly the judiciary, to ensure that the gains and triumphs of the past remain intact for generations of Ghanaians unborn. The rule of law is fragile. The rule of law is based on people. Democracy is based on people. Thus, when a small proportion of the same people imperil the democracy we live, the institutions of justice must respond according to law. Having said this, I urge the police service to swiftly conclude investigations by the next adjourned date of the cases involving the prosecution of excesses for recent protests in Accra, so as to exclude by that date all those against whom sufficient evidence cannot be found to proceed further. I also advise the prosecution to consider relevant bail applications at the next adjourned dates of the cases.
So that is Godfred Yeboah-Dame, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, saying that yes, at the next court sitting, prosecution should ensure relevant bail applications are considered, and also the police to ensure that, or to expedite action on investigation so that those whom sufficient evidence are not established against will be let go, and those whom evidence shows that they have committed offense, they will face trial. So that is the point that the Attorney General has been made in relation to all that. So we'll be monitoring the conference, and there are a lot of talking points. I told you about the fact that the GBA president, Yao Achampong-Boafo, was there, the GHOne president was there, and all the people who have been making points. Tomorrow, we'll bring you some of the talking points and some of the interesting conversations that took place within the conference.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Murtala Inusah.
Thank you, Lantan.
For bringing us court today.